Hey everybody, welcome in. So today I'm just going to give you guys a quick tour. This is my third playthrough. I pretty much finished the game. As you can see, I've got all the statues here. And I just want to show you guys kind of what I did, give you some ideas. This isn't really like an instructional video or anything like that. I just want to show you what I did, maybe give you guys some ideas for your playthroughs. So as I talked in some of my other videos, the first thing I did was I got the concrete going, right? And we're over here in the dune desert. So I got the concrete going. And then the next thing I did was I built a slab, right? And I've talked about this in other videos, but what I would do is build it off the ground. And I should have went higher because you're going to see over here part of my base here, I guess at the bottom here. I had to go up a little bit here, so I should have went higher so it could have been level. I had to go a little bit higher because of these sand dunes over here. So that's one thing that I would do. The other thing that I've thought about since playing through this playthrough is when you build more than one base, which you should, to do them all the same level. And the way you could do that is you could run a train from your main base to all the other bases and make them the same level so they don't have to go up and down. As you can see there, I made that train level, and that goes all the way to another facility and it's level with that facility. So that's one thing you might want to think about when you're building. So the first thing I did is I concentrated on power. So from here, started building hypertubes. So the first hypertube is going to fly over to the first coal plant that I built. You can see I've got a series of them here. They go to different places. So you can go farther on some and shorter on others. So I've mentioned in my other videos is the first thing I did was I concentrated on power. So the first thing was coal power plants, right? So I built this one over here, and I'll fly kind of slow so you guys can see how I built it. And I'm also going to try to go kind of slow so you guys can see the beauty of this game because it really is a beautiful map. And I'll try to go kind of slow so in case you guys want to stop it or take a screenshot or something like that. But as you can see, you got the coal on the bottom and then I've got the water above it. There's various ways you could do it, but that's the way I pretty much build. And I built a few batteries. You can always use a few batteries, especially in the end game. And then I built another coal power plant over there. I think I have a total of like 3 or 4 coal power plants. So after I did that, I started thinking, okay, so I'm going to need more power. So yeah, look at this map. It's really cool. So the next thing I started working on, I believe, was the fuel power plant. And I built a train over there, and I can't remember. I think I built the train first before I built the hypertubes. I'm not really sure. But that was the first train. Okay, well that wasn't right. Almost died there. It helps if you pick the right jetpack. And in this playthrough, I built, let's see, I think 4 trains and a lot of drones. Either 4 or 5 trains, I can't remember. Okay, so the next thing I did was I started concentrating on fuel power. So let's go over there. you can see I built this train going over here. And this is the first fuel power plant, then eventually converted it to turbo fuel later in the game. So I think I have a total of 3 turbo fuel power plants. So I always tell people in the beginning, you know, just play slow. And if you build one power plant, build another one, and then build another one. And just take your time with it because you're going to need the power at the end of the game. So. Okay, so this is the first train I built, and let's see, I think it's transporting plastic, rubber, and let's see, I can't remember what the third thing was. Nitrogen gas. Okay, so we got rubber, plastic, and nitrogen gas for this first train. So I'll just go slow here so you can see how I ran the pipes. And like I said, this is mainly putting out rubber and plastic. Okay, so let's fly back to the main base. And the next thing that I did is I built another fuel power plant. I mean, in between you're building other things, right? But I was mainly just concentrating on power because I knew in the end game you're going to need a lot of power. So this one you can see the hyper tubes are a lot longer, so I can go all the way across the map with this one. Okay, so here's the second fuel power plant. And I converted it to turbo fuel later on in the game. And I have a couple of drones, probably transporting plastic. So over here, always make sure you shoot the land well. And just look at the beauty of this game. I mean, they did a really good job. Okay, so over here I built another fuel power plant. Turbo fuel. And just sinking the plastic over here, looks like. And there's power generators over there. Okay, so let's go back. And the next thing that I started to work on was the aluminum factory. And a lot of people get stuck on this. And for the third playthrough, I just sank all the water, all the extra water. You can pipe it back in, but it's just a lot of trouble. So for this playthrough, I just sank all the extra water, and that's what I would recommend. I mean, there's ways you can configure the pipes and do all this stuff to get it to work. To me, it was just too much trouble. All right, so let's go back over there to, no, let's go to the aluminum factory. And that's one thing you can do is change direction. You can use the turbo fuel in your jetpack and just go different directions and just shoot shoot your different ways you want to go. So this is over here at the aluminum. This is kind of in the Spiderville over here in the marshes, I guess is what you could call it. So you can see I built um, basically the same thing twice to get the aluminum ingots. And then once again, I have drones. I probably have about 12 or 15 drones, got a ton of them. So that's what I always tell people is build, multiple factories and make sure you use your trains and your drones. Okay, so from here, I think I built my second train. Let's see if we can catch it. Guess not, so we're gonna have to fly over there. So as you can see, this one's going to be level with my main base. So that way the train doesn't have to go up or down. Okay, this one is nitrogen gas. So that's all this train is delivering. Actually, I don't know if that's true. I think there's another stop for this train and it's delivering water and some of the SAM ore. I can't believe one of those, I believe is SAM ore. And then I have multiple factories delivering different things. This one's delivering quartz. And then way over here down here, there's another little factory for the copper powder. Okay, so let's fly back. And then I can show you guys the beauty of this map from at a very high level. So here's my map. You can see I have a fuel power plant over there. There's a coal power plant. There's another fuel power plant. And then I have a drone for diamonds. So as you can see, I have multiple drones. There's my main base with that coal power plant. Looks like I didn't put icon for that second power plant over there. For the second one I built. Okay, so let's fly back and I'll give you guys a view of this map. All right, well, that was nice. Okay, so let's do a reload. I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know if I pushed a button while I was going through there, but that was pretty funny. All right, let's try that again. Everything looks right, so let's try that again. All right, there we go. Going up. All right, this is pretty high view here. This is the whole map you can see. You can see a fuel power plant way over there in the distance. Oh, there's the coal power plant. And then I have another fuel power plant way over there. So let's see if we can catch this train on the way back. This is also a good way to search for things like summer sloop, stuff like that, when you're just flying around like this. Or floating around, I should say. So it doesn't look like the train is here, so... Oh, wait a minute. We can fly back. Okay, so in the final end game, you can create nuclear for power. So I built it up here on the hill. So this is the nuclear power plant. Looks like I have 4 of them. And then in here towards the end, I needed more water to run those last 2 nuclear power plants. So I ran some water and I made it run right next to this train rail. That came out pretty cool. And then here's another train that I built. I think this was train number 4, 3 or 4. Nitrogen gas. See, I'll show you where the train station is over here. If the smoke would get out of the way. There it is over there. That's where the train station is. So we'll go pretty high up over here so you guys can see the main manufacturing base. And all that stuff right there, that's basically the end game right there. And I have one nuclear power plant over here as well. And then I built this final train station at the last here. So there's that train station. It goes around as like a circle. And then they came out with those elevators, so I threw a couple of elevators in here. Oh, I had the wrong jetpack. I was wondering why I wasn't flying up. All right, guys, so I guess that's pretty much it. I just wanted to show you guys what I built, maybe give you guys some ideas for your builds. And I just want to say thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.